Welcome to POL Classics. Be sure to check out the best of POL from over the years. It's at its most popular day and time, and guess what? It's only on WNEP+. Coming up next on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, the kayak caravan hits the river. Join us for a kayaking lesson and a trip through Bradford County. See the wildlife along the river next on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life along the beautiful Susquehanna River here in Bradford County. I'm Don Jacobs, and today we've sort of taken part of the program on the road to Bradford County along the Susquehanna River. And joining us right now is the owner of Endless Mountain Outfitters, David Buck. Dave, what is Endless Mountain Outfitters?
Endless Mountain Outfitters is a canoe kayak livery, and we rent boats and sell boats up here in Bradford County. We're in Sugar Run, Pennsylvania, up near Wyalusing, right across the river.
Okay, I'm excited. You're going to put me in a canoe.
We're going to put you in a kayak.
In a kayak. All right, in a kayak. Well, then let's go get loaded up, okay?
Okay, sounds good. We've been in business about 4 years, and we just moved to this location last summer.
I'll give you a hand where you're going.
Okay, we're going over. Just pick up one end and turn around and head towards the.
Okay. This way.
Yep. Yeah, that'd be great.
I don't mind doing a little bit of physical labor.
It's good to see. It's recreational. A lot of people, they say, will come up and fish out of the kayaks and canoes. We had groups over the weekend that came out and just saying what a beautiful place it is, and I think we'll see that as we're out on the river.
So the idea is you take them upstream and they end up right here?
Come back to here, yep. I had a group out yesterday. They were out for 3 days on the river, and I thought they were going to be here at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. They got in at 7.
They were enjoying themselves so much, or they just...
Enjoying themselves, yeah. And it was great weather.
Now this map you were saying is pretty much where we're going. We're putting in up here someplace?
Yeah, we're going to be putting in just below Wysox. We'll be putting at the Bradford County Motorboat Club, and then coming on down to where Standing Stone is, which is right here in the side of the hill. French's Island is in this area, and as you can see how the river meanders back and forth, and coming back over to Amit's Ferry, and then on back down to Sugar Run here to finish up this afternoon.
Is there a way to mileage that? What are we talking about?
We're doing 15 miles.
15 miles of the river today?
Yep.
Great. And with the kayaks loaded, it's time to head up the river, but not before a stop in beautiful downtown Wyalusing to pick up lunch.
Pernickety and Brood Awakening. Follow me in.
Dave called ahead, and Bobby and Sherry of Brood Awakening packed a lunch for us.
Welcome to Wyalusing.
Well, that was nice.
Okay.
What a neat little store.
It's great because, like I said, they make up special sandwiches for us each time we come down. So.
And after a short ride to the Bradford County Motorboat Club, it's time to introduce you to our fellow kayakers. Melody Buck is Dave's wife, Josh is a guide on the river, and we're accompanied by Kelly, Nicole, and Rachel. And unlike canoes, kayaks have some adjustable parts. For comfort and stability, it's important. And Dave checks out each kayak before starting out, starting with the front pedals.
Now, does that feel comfortable on both sides? Bring them up a little bit.
No, that's okay.
Okay.
What is the optimal?
So your knees are just bent a little bit. So, and whatever feels comfortable, actually. Some people may want them straight, but what it gives is stability. Because when you're pulling, you want to brace for your back. Otherwise, your back will be, you know, you're pulling more on your back. So this is the way it's just pulling on your arms and you're braced in there.
And you could adjust these seats too?
Yeah, the seats are adjustable. In fact, I'll show in the other seat there how that, how the adjustment is on that. We'll set Rachel up next. This is the new style seats, which are really nice. They're set up and down. So I can just pull this a little bit tighter. It's a one-string pull. Now this also, Rachel, I'm going to have you lean ahead just a little bit. There's a pull string here. Now watch in the back how the seat works. So I can raise the seat up and down while she's sitting here, and your seats are going to be like that also. So you can just tie that right in there.
Literally get a backrest.
Yeah. So, and also the front. You have two front pulls here in the front. The front legs can come up and down, also. So.
Oh, they pull the pedals up.
Yeah, the pedals, are they okay?
No, they're too towards me.
Okay. They're just little clip pedals, so we just move them up. And...
That's better. That's good.
You sure? Okay. Now this has a little bit smaller cockpit. This is more of a touring kayak rather than the others are the recreationals. And you'll find 2 foot pegs down underneath.
Oh, they're perfect. It's a little bumpy here on the water. No, they're perfect.
Okay, and then like I said, you can adjust the back either way you want to.
Just pull it?
Yep. And then you just lock it in. There's a little lock.
And that's perfect too.
All right. Now what we got to do is get it in the water. We'll try it there. They're actually more stable in the water than they are on land. Okay, I'll get everybody's attention. A little bit of water safety. River's up probably about 3 feet according to the Towanda gauge today, so we shouldn't have any problem bottoming anywhere, and the river's going to be a good run. We'll be on the river for about 3 hours. We'll stop for lunch. We're going to give you some instructions on the boats and how to paddle in just a minute, but safety first. Okay, if you see any trees that are hanging down in the water, they're called strainers. Stay away from them. It'll tip you right over real quick. Rachel's got the food, so we got to make sure she's taken care of.
You do not tip. Yeah. Rule number 1, Rachel does not tip.
Okay.
And if you tip, you save the food first, then yourself.
Now, one of the things about a canoe, when you put a canoe in, you usually put it in perpendicular to the water. How you get in a kayak, you put them in from the, you're parallel to the shore. Sit right down on here.
On the paddle?
Yeah, right on the paddle. No, don't even put your foot in. Just lean over on it. Okay. And now, if she leans to the side a little bit, lean towards the shore on the paddle. The paddle works as an outrigger and will keep her nice and steady.
Okay, I'm with you.
And while she leans on that, she just lifts her feet right on over and just puts them right in. And then she will slide down into the seat from there.
Feet up.
Yep. Sit right down there. Okay, now if Rachel will hold her hands straight out, straight in front of you. She's got the paddle straight across. You can feather the paddles, whatever feels comfortable for you. And what she will do, just hang on to the paddle lightly, is drop right by her foot, and it's as easy as that. And believe it or not, the boat will go right down the shore. So that's how we do it. If you're doing, and I'll show you how to do the. Let me just pull back up here once. If we're doing the, if you're going to be doing the feather, you just click the paddle right-handed, and then you just drop. And what you do is just a twist of the wrist. You don't hold onto the paddle real tight, and just drop it in. Twist and drop in.
Advantage of that?
If you're against the wind, the paddle will actually act as a sail against you, so it makes you more aerodynamic. But it also, once you get used to doing that, it's a lot easier. Do not hang on to the paddle real tight. Okay, the paddle just goes loose in your hands.
One at a time, our kayak caravan took to the water, and after some words of encouragement, it was my turn.
If any boat's going to tip, it's going to be this one. This is a little sleeker boat, a little rounder in the bottom. The other ones have a straight keel on them. These are actually made real well for tracking. Let's just put the water there for now, and I'll hand it to you in a minute. Okay. Now, as long as we push him off from shore, there he goes.
Hey, it worked.
The rest of it, the flow of the river will take him. He doesn't have to paddle anymore. Let's get mine down here.
This moves easy, doesn't it? This is so easy.
Yeah.
Told you to be effortless, pretty much.
This is so easy. You have yours feathered too?
Yeah. Yeah, it just makes it easier. And once you get used to doing it, it's kind of a natural way of paddling.
Well, we're in the water. We've got our life preservers on, we're in our kayaks, and we're going to take a short break. And when we come back, our trip down the Susquehanna River. We'll have even more POL Classics on WNEP Plus right after this. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. Again, we are here with Endless Mountain Outfitters on the Susquehanna River in Bradford County in a kayak of all things. What an interesting way to see this river. And if you take a look right downstream, our kayaking party is heading to Standing Stone.
It's supposed to be 40 feet high. Right now there's probably about, maybe 15 feet of it out of the water.
Now, what did the Indians do with that? What is the significance of that?
The Indians basically just used it as a marker. There was some Indian markings on it years ago, but they've since come off or worn off to Heather and some other names that we have on there. There are some, back when Sullivan marched up through here in the late 1700s, it was said that they camped right across over where Standing Stone Township is, and took their cannon in the morning and blew a corner of the rock off. Wow. But you'll see some old dates there, 1963, that's old for some, but there's 1906, yeah. There's a 7/27/06. There's an 1899 chiseled in here.
Wow.
Not that we like graffiti, but the older the better, it seems.
I have to touch it. I've seen it from the bank over there and from a canoe, but I've never actually touched it. That's cool. That is really neat. You can't see the bottom of it either.
Well, I have a lot of people that lived or grew up in the area and have moved out, and they come back to visit families and they want to do the river because they say they haven't done it when they were young or haven't done it for a long time, and a lot of them have never stopped at French's Island, never saw the Standing Stone. So when they come back, sometimes they get some groups of families that used to live in the area come in, and then there's people that travel all over. I've had people from France and Russia and all over the world stop and take trips down the river with us.
This is very peaceful. Very peaceful.
One thing I like about the kayaks too, people will go down in little groups and they'll break off and talk to different people as they're going down. Well, there's not a lot of activity on the river, and so many people are saying that the river's underused. The river conservation plan that is being done by Susquehanna River Basin is just doing that to try to protect the river, but also make sure that it's used properly. And I think we're getting a lot more use out of it. Like I said, I've exposed a lot of people to the river, and they've enjoyed it, just like yourself here today. You're saying how nice it is. This is historical French asylum, which was settled back in the late 1700s to have the French, they were kind of told to leave certain areas, so they formed a colony up here, and there was a couple hundred French people that moved up in here, and their main plan was to bring Queen Antoinette over from France back during the Revolution to give her a safe harbor here, and unfortunately she died before she got a chance to do it.
And that's open for public tours, right?
Public tours. It's actually easier to get to it from the river than it is from driving, because you have to drive a couple miles off of Route 187 to come back into it. And you have a place as beautiful as along the river. It's nice to stop for a little bit and get out and stretch the legs and look around.
And Melody Buck agrees. She says it's just great to be out here.
I love being in the outdoors. I like to look at wildflowers, do bird identification. I've learned over the years to identify birds by their call. So paddling down the river in a kayak, I can just, listen and hear, oh, there's a rose-breasted grosbeak, or there's a scarlet tanager. I didn't start canoeing until I married David in 1975. And so we canoed, and then just, I guess about 4 years ago, we got into kayaking, and it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
I noticed one thing about being in a kayak. Wildlife seems to ignore you. We floated under this bald eagle before it took to the sky. And when it did fly, it only went upstream a short distance before it found a new perch.
Fine.
And when was the last time you got this close to a great blue heron before it changed locations? We saw deer, ducks, and even red-tailed hawks. But what we didn't see were people. And Dave says it's time to change that.
June is National Rivers Month, and it's big with Pennsylvania because they've always sponsored one of their rivers, and to get people out and to enjoy the different rivers. You know, the Delaware, the Susquehanna, any of the rivers out in the western part of the state. It's just a real experience of just being out on the river and just floating. It's kind of a real relaxing way to enjoy the day. I mean, you're out here, you're away from everything, you forget all the stress and the hassles of the office, and just come out and sit back and enjoy, and let the water take you down.
This is the way to do the river, right here. This is the way to do it.
Wyalusing Rocks is an overlook just about a mile and a half west on Route 6 from Wyalusing. It's a famous overlook because Prayer Rock is up there, and that's some of that property now is owned by the Delaware Indian Nation. And they're planning to develop and have an Indian center up in there.
They're still working on having that center?
Yeah. The rocks themselves have been cleared out, like Josh was saying, from an Eagle Scout project. One of the boys from Troop 96 in Wyalusing cleared the trees out of the way so they get a better view up there.
And if you're into views, there is no better way to view the Susquehanna River than in a kayak. The river and its views change with every twist and turn. And finally, it's time for lunch. We've pulled over here on Hummett's Ferry to enjoy our streamside lunch. We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to have Pennsylvania people and places. So stick around. POL Classic, we'll have much more of it on WNEP Plus right after this. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, our shoreside lunch. Compliments of Brewed Awakening and Wyalusing. As we dig in, we think it only appropriate to show you some of the photos that people have sent to us. We call them Pennsylvania People and Places. Let's begin tonight's Pennsylvania People and Places with some successful turkey hunters. Amanda Jones and her grandfather Jack Corbett are seen here with their spring gobblers. Amanda and Jack were hunting right here in Standing Stone Township of Bradford County when they scored. This is Amanda's first turkey. Nice going. And now just take a look at this fan. Jim Croddock of Williamsport is proudly displaying the fan of the turkey he shot while hunting in Lycoming County on the opening morning of the season. And get this gobbler weighed in at 25 pounds. That's a big bird. Heath Bowers of Llewellyn is seen here with his opening day longbeard. Heath is quick to point out that the little guy in his arms will also be a sportsman, and to get him started in the right direction, the Bowers named their son Hunter. As far as the turkey, it's sporting a 9.5-inch beard and 1-inch spurs. And here's yet another proud father from Schuylkill County. Nathan Snook is holding his 1-month-old son Devin. And if you look real close, you'll see that Devin is already wearing camouflage. Nathan is proud of his son, and he's also proud of the 20-pound, 9-inch bearded gobbler he shot on the opening day. Heath Wiedenmoyer of Wyalusing was hunting with his grandpa Digger when he brought home this gobbler. Heath's longbeard sported a 9-inch beard and weighed in at over 20 pounds. Way to go, Heath. Now let's turn our attention to a buck photo, and we'll start it off with Bobby Green of Factoryville. Bobby was hunting with his uncles Bill, Mark, and Archie, and his cousin Little Arch on the last day of the buck season. Bobby's trophy sported 4 points and a 10-inch spread. Nice going, Bobby. And for our final photo, let's go fishing. Chris Brockle of Macungie is seen here with his father Chris Sr. and the 13-inch brookie he pulled out of the Albertus Rod and Gun Club. The smile on his face says it all. You know, Kayaking the Susquehanna River certainly builds a hunger. As you can see, our guys here wolfing down some of these sandwiches. We're going to continue to eat our lunch, but when we come back, we are going to go out to the cabin for our product demonstration and giveaway. Welcome back to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. We're sitting now in front of our Pennsylvania Outdoor Life cabin here. And you know, it's hard to beat a day like that on the Susquehanna River. The whole trip took us about 4.5 hours, and every now and then we stop to get some incredible pictures of wildlife like you've seen. Of course, we have to thank Dave and Melody Buck from Endless Mountain Outfitters, and Nicole and Kelly and Rachel and Josh for spending the day with us, and I hope we didn't miss anybody. But you know what? You're probably sitting back saying, now I want to do that. Well, how do you do that? Here it is. On your screen, you'll see the information you need to get a hold of Endless Mountain Outfitters. Their phone number is 570-746-9140, and there is their homepage at www.endlessmountain-mt-outfitters.com. So that's how you get in touch with them if you choose to spend a day on the river. Let me tell you, they will custom fit any trip for any size group, for any age group, and it is worth seeing that section and all of the Susquehanna River in the Bradford County area from a kayak. What an interesting trip. A kayak trip for two on the Susquehanna River, courtesy of Endless Mountain Outfitters. Now, what are they going to do? They're going to supply you the canoe or the kayaks for a day. They'll take you where you want to go, a whole day for two on kayaks in the Susquehanna River, courtesy of the Endless Mountain Outfitters. And we're also going to kick in a set of 4 mugs from the Greater Wyalusing Chamber of Commerce, and they're real easy to get a hold of too on www.wyalusing.net. And that's a great little set of 4 mugs from the Greater Wyalusing Chamber of Commerce. Great people up there in Bradford County, and let's pick one name and give them away. And here we go. We've got more fishing coming up and more hiking and all those kind of neat stories, so stay tuned to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life with some special guests every week for the next couple of months. Now, Joseph Yozakowski of Dixon City, congratulations. We're setting this up for you. Enjoy your trip on the Susquehanna River. Well, that's Pennsylvania Outdoor Life for this evening. I'm Don Jacobs, and for the rest of the team here on Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, enjoy yourself in the great outdoors. Good night.
So we canoed, and then just, I guess it's about 4 years ago, we got into kayaking, and it's been a lot of fun. I really enjoy it.
I noticed one thing about being in a kayak. Wildlife seems to ignore you. We floated under this bald eagle before it took to the sky. And when it did fly, it only went upstream a short distance.
Pennsylvania Outdoor Life is a local presentation of WNEP TV. We're proud to serve northeastern and central Pennsylvania.
Thank you for joining us for a look back at POL Classics. Now I'm going to invite you to join us every Sunday night at 6:30 on WNEP+.